Hey guys, I'm the NFL Addict. I don't know if you guys have been looking in the NFL news lately, but Washington has basically said that they're all in on Trey Lance, and there's been a lot of rumors of Washington possibly moving up to trade for it. But I'm a Washington fan, so I thought maybe I should go out there and give my thoughts on it. So first off, I'll start off with some positives on why I think they should, and then I'll follow that up with some negatives on why I think they shouldn't, or why it wouldn't be the best idea, and then I'll finish off with my verdict on why, as they are right now, why I think they should or shouldn't do it. And before we get started, make sure you like and subscribe. Do these kind of videos all the time. My schedule has been kind of rocky, but I was just recently on vacation, so I'll hopefully get that back up to speed soon. So our first positive is Trey Lance himself. He was a very good quarterback in college. 2 years ago, he had a phenomenal season, didn't throw a single interception. He was very, very good quarterback, both throwing the ball, and he was also a very good weapon with his legs. He was a very mobile quarterback, and as we're seeing in the NFL, mobile quarterbacks are becoming more and more valuable now. In his last season, because of COVID, he had kind of a screwed up preparing time, I'm guessing, and he probably wasn't able to get out there and practice with his team as much as he would probably like to. And they only did play one game, and in that one game, he didn't look nearly as good as he did 2 years ago. So, I am going to say that I'm pretty sure that he is a very good quarterback. However, we do have to take that last game into kind of effect, but in reality, looking at the bigger sample size, he has had way more good games and way more good plays than bad ones, and I think it would definitely benefit any team. Well, not every team, but most teams to have a quarterback like Trey Lance starting for them. Next up is their current quarterback situation does kind of make sense. I feel like with Ryan Fitzpatrick on a 1-year deal, he's a very good bridge quarterback, and it would be a very good quarterback for Trey Lance to sit behind. Now, they always could wait for next year, and they could draft one next year, but like I said, Ryan Fitzpatrick is on a 1-year deal, so next year, if they don't re-sign him, that opportunity could be gone. So this could be a very good time for them to go out and get him. They could have Ryan Fitzpatrick starting the whole season. They could have Trey Lance and Tyler Heineke sitting behind him and learning, and because they're both pretty young, and then they could have kind of a QB competition next season, and then they could probably start getting rolling next season. So the quarterback situation that they currently have right now makes a whole lot of sense for Trey Lance to jump in there, or any young quarterback. Next up, with the moves they've been making on offense, and obviously, it's no question that they have a very good defense, but you look at, it's gone from Terry McLaurin and nobody else to Terry McLaurin and now Curtis Samuels, and they also added Adam Humphries, which wasn't talked about as much as, some other moves that they made. So right now, it looks to me with Antonio Gibson and J.D. McKissick on that running back room, and you have now a pretty solid, pretty formidable wide receiver room, and that pretty good defense. I feel like if they get a really good quarterback like Trey Lance, or like he looks to be, obviously we don't know how well that's going to translate into the NFL, but it looks like he's a very good quarterback. I feel like they add a good quarterback, and they could be a pretty good force. They could be a contender for possibly deep into the playoffs. I wouldn't say a good quarterback would instantly make them, a Super Bowl contender. It wouldn't even make them close. They have a lot of other issues they need to work on, but it definitely would make them probably, not definite, but they'd definitely be the front runner in the NFC East, at least, in predictions and stuff. So I feel like they could definitely benefit from that. Whatever. I hope you understood that. Next up, Ron Rivera. We've seen Taylor Heineke last year, the one game he played, he was phenomenal. They were letting him run all over the field. You saw whenever he was with Cam Newton, for most of those years, he was on fire. Cam Newton, MVP Cam, was under Ron Rivera. The only really bad seasons that Cam Newton had with Ron Rivera was whenever he was injured. So I feel like, Trey Lance would fit into the kind of system that Ron Rivera is trying to run. So those are all my reasons for. I feel like he'd be a really good fit for the team, and he is a very good player. And I feel like this is a very good opportune time for him to jump in there and take this team from maybe they win the division and get into the playoffs at 9-7 or something to maybe. Obviously I don't think he'd start right away, but maybe we could be saying that next year they'll be 11-6 or something. I'm still getting used to saying those. So now we have some negatives. So if you're wondering why San Francisco and the Dolphins look so weird, it's because this was an old list, so I had to put them on there. But so obviously they would have to trade up pretty far because they're at 19 right now, and jumping up 9 spots even is a lot. So you look at this. These three are pretty much locked down. They're pretty much going to have, these three are all going to be the top three quarterbacks pretty much off the bat. It's pretty certain. We got to have Lawrence. We're going to have Wilson. And we're going to have Fields. It's all three of these teams have pretty much confirmed that by now. The 49ers are the most uncertain one. But, again, we also have Mac Jones still in there. Mac Jones and Trey Lance is a pretty good, competition. But obviously Washington is all in on Trey Lance. I'm trying to find out, how far they would have to trade up, because that's also another issue. So at fourth we have Atlanta. This is a team I feel like Atlanta would not pick a quarterback. I feel like, they have a lot of bigger needs than quarterback. At the same time, though, I feel like they're a much better team than, fourth in the draft. So if this is probably the best time for them to go out and get a quarterback. So maybe they should go for 4. But then you look at that, and that's a big reach. So now we have to look back at 5, because 4 is like, that's tough. At 5th, we have, they're not going to, these two teams are not going to get a quarterback. They've got them locked down. At the 7th, we have, iffy, because they could get one to sit behind Jared Goff. Obviously, I don't think he's their quarterback of the future. He hasn't had a good past couple of years. He's really had one good season. That's about it. So they could pick him, but I'm not sure. And then you look at 8th, and I don't. You look at 8th, and I feel like the Panthers would pick a quarterback to sit with Sam Darnold. I doubt they wouldn't if Trey Lance is up there. So I'm not even gonna look at this. 8th, 9th, and 10th. This is too far. So I feel like their best option right now would, I feel like at the latest they would have to go up to 7. Because I feel like there's no way he's still available at 8th. I guess there's a slight chance he's available at 8th, but no, there's no way that 9th and 10th. Unless all these teams pass up on him or Mac Jones goes before him, I just don't see it happening. So I feel like the earliest they're going to get is 4th. I don't know. I just feel like they have to trade up so far that it's just going to be such a reach, and they would have to give up so much that it would be kind of insane. They would have to give up like half of their future picks. Now we have Taylor Heineke, the person that we're not really talking about, because I was talking about how it's an opportune time for them to get a young quarterback and let him learn behind Ryan Fitzpatrick. Well, you could make the argument that they already have that in Taylor Heineke. He had a pretty good he had a pretty good game last season. The game that he started, he gave the Super Bowl champions a run for their money. But also in his games with Carolina, because I also live in North Carolina, so I watched a lot of the Carolina games. He actually 2 years ago he started one of the end of the year games. He didn't look half bad, so it's not like that was a complete and total surprise. You also have to understand that that's not with him knowing he was going to start and preparing for months like all these other players. So I feel like, they could take a chance, and they could, say, hey, we're going to let Taylor Heineke sit behind him, and then we're going to put Taylor Heineke out there next year. So Taylor Heineke could fill that role. So yeah. And this next one, I'm just going to warn you, I couldn't really find that good of a picture for it, so it's literally just a clock. And that's because they do have a lot of young players on that team, so technically they do have time. I understand with the Ryan Fitzpatrick thing, this is the most opportune time, but also you have to look and say they're a very young team. They have time. They're going to have a lot of this talent for a while, so they do have time to sit there and wait. Don't have much more to say about this. Next up is my verdict, and my verdict is no. They should not do it yet. And that is because I feel like they have much bigger needs. At tight end, I know they just signed that dude from some foreign country who was a basketball player. I don't know. Everyone's kind of going crazy about that. I've never heard of him. I know he went on the combine. I think he had a really, really good combine, but we don't know much about him. Or at least I don't. So I'm not going to say that's their answer at tight end. Also, that offensive line isn't very good. Now, with a bad offensive line, a mobile quarterback could definitely help with that, but I feel like they should go out and they should get a better buffed out offensive line before they go and get him. So right now, I guess it wouldn't be a horrible decision, but with the amount they would have to give up, I feel like they have a lot of areas they need to fix that, even a linebacker, safety definitely, and offensive line. And I feel like they need to get another tight end in there. I feel like right now, no, because I feel like, again, with the amount of picks they would have to give up, they'd be handicapping themselves, and I feel like that would be a bad decision as of right now. So no. it was very close. I mean, I came really close to putting. I actually had a check mark here for a bit. Changed my mind. So, yeah, that's just what a Washington fan thinks. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Let me know if you think that there's even a chance of them trading up. Let me know if you think they should. Let me know if you think that they will. Just let me know what you think about this whole situation. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. And I hope that I see you in the next one. Goodbye.